Sandy says, who should ask for the committed relationship, man or woman? Thanks. It doesn't matter. That's my official statement, is that it doesn't matter. It's in your best interest that he asks for it. It's in his best interest that you ask for it. And at the very least, it's in your best interest to make sure that you talk about it at some point, because some guys can go, and I'm recording some videos right now for this new program that I'm creating. And one of the things I talk about in one of the videos is this woman that came to me, and she thought that her guy was doing all the right things, right? And they'd been together for 3 years, and she thought that they were moving towards commitment. And she was one of my clients, and I was telling her, this was before she became my client, but I was talking over a video about how sometimes guys can do all these things, right? They can do all these things. They can have pet names for you. They can, take you on vacations. They can do romantic, sweet things with you. They can have you meet their friends and family. They can do all these things in a dating situation or a relationship. And it doesn't, neither one of them, doing that stuff doesn't mean that you're moving towards a relationship. And she was shocked by this, right? And didn't believe it at first. And then it took her a couple of weeks. And then she went to her guy and she asked him about it. And she was like, because it was just like gnawing at her mind. She's like, there's no way. There's no way that I could be with a guy for 3 years. He can do all these sweet things and then not think that we're in a relationship. There's just no way, right? And so she goes and talks to him, and she finds out that, sure enough, he's like, no, I told you from the beginning that I wasn't looking for anything serious. We're just having fun, right? And she's like devastated, right? Like just totally devastated from this, because she's like, we've been together for 3 years. What are we doing together? What are we doing? Why are you doing all that? Why are you acting like we're in a relationship? And he was like, no, we're just having fun. We're just enjoying each other's company, right? And so she came to me and she was like, what should I do, right? And I helped her through this, turn the situation completely around. And one of the things that you need to know is that they've done studies on this, and they found that by the 6 to 8 month mark, men know almost unanimously, right? Like almost every single man knows out there what kind of a relationship he wants with you from the 6 to 8 month mark. And if you're in a relation, if you're dating a guy for a year, if you're seeing a guy for a year, if you're seeing a guy for 2 years, and you want a committed relationship and you don't know if you're in one, you need to have a conversation with him and figure out where he's at and make it something that you actually have a real conversation about. It's very, very, very important. And so if you don't do that, you can just assume that it's possible that he thinks that you're in a relationship, but it's also possible that he doesn't. And so it's in your best interest. If you want a committed relationship, it's in your best interest before the 1 year mark to have this conversation with him. Like, hey, is this going somewhere? If you spent 8 months with a guy and he's not bringing up relationship, he's not saying that you guys are just together, he hasn't made it official, you should bring it up. Absolutely, 100%, to protect yourself. If you've committed yourself to a guy, which I suggest that you don't ever do, right? If he hasn't brought it up and he's not talking about it, I suggest you do not commit yourself to a man. If you have already done that, right? If you're like, oh, thanks, Matt, I've already committed myself, right? If you've already done that, then you should go and have a real conversation with him and figure out what's going on, right? Just do that. Just do that. Just please, Sandy, just go do that. Go do that. It's very, very important.